Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is my review of this beautiful palette. This is the Relentless palette from Playing in Makeup by Yolondo, also known as Pimby, which is so cute. But in any case, this is the palette, this is how she looks like. It is a very big palette. As you can see, sweeties, you get 36 shades plus those 3 special shades, which are kind of duochrome, super fancy special shades. So of course, what you're going to get in this video is several looks. This one I'm creating on camera. You will see several other ones then in pictures later on. I will chat to you about something today that is, well, that just happened in my life, you know? So we're going to do kind of a story time also while I'm creating this look. Later on, you will also, of course, see this palette swatched out. And at the end of the video, you will get, of course, my review part with my thoughts about the palette. Now, beyond that, if you've just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I'm living for colorful makeup and colorful styling, so feel free to check out my channel and also my social media, which is linked in the description box down below, so you can check out and get to know my channel a little bit. And beyond that, of course, subscribe, because I would absolutely love to have you here as part of my tribe. With all of that being said, I hope you will enjoy the video as much as I do filming it. And beyond that, of course, let's just go into the video, because I cannot wait to show you more about this beautiful palette. Okay, sweeties, we are going to do a look, and I want this to be green and yellow because I feel kind of green and yellow today. So that is what we're doing. So I want to go in first with this shade, which is the darkest green in the palette, and which is called Implacable, I think, or something. Okay, so let us just go in with this one and maybe place it here in the outer corner, because as you saw in the intro, I want this whole look to be very focused on the outside, depth-wise. So that is what I'm planning to do. But here you can see, of course, this beautiful color, which is more of a very cold green teal kind of a shade. But this is what it is. So I'm placing this just here. And of course, as always, I want to tell you something. And that is actually something that happened a couple of weeks ago when I'm filming this. I had planned to tell you much earlier, but then other stuff happened. So let's also go into these 2 shades here. This is Unpitying and Unforgiving. All right. So, but first of all, I need to change brushes. All right, let's go into Unpitying and place it right around this one. Okay, sweeties, let me tell you, maybe you know, because you've watched my videos hopefully, that actually this whole last time was a bit hard for us as a family because of all the measurements due to the pandemic. We had been in isolation for so long, because there was always one of my kids that had been exposed to someone who had tested positive. So that meant that we as a family basically most of the time spent at home. Okay, so that is just like setting the picture. Now, after weeks and weeks of that, we actually finally were all free to go outside. All right, so that is the special thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and what happened on that day. Now, it happened that this was a Shabbat, which is my holy day of the week, and which is basically when we also spend time together as a family way more, because we're all at home, and we also go to prayers to the synagogue. Okay, so we had gone to prayers into the morning service in the synagogue. And usually, and the weather was also really beautiful, so usually I just let my kids go at some point, because the services are really long, and then I finish off the service. My kids go to the playground, which is like super close to the synagogue. This looks already so beautiful, I can't even believe it. Okay, wait, I'm going to switch to a more fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this super dark shade again. And I'm just going to kind of reinforce that a little bit and blend it out a little bit more, something like that. So my kids were on the playground, and I finished off services, and then I came to see them on the playground and see if they are okay. So in any case, they were playing there, they had met schoolmates and stuff like that. So it was really cool. They had so much fun. They were running around and playing soccer and who knows what. And they even, like, they hadn't missed me, and it was all okay. So there was also another mom. They had met like someone who is in their class, or who's like I said, they were schoolmates, and they had so much fun. Okay, so I was basically just standing there on the side, and I didn't want to interfere or anything. I had no reason to. And honestly, for me, it was just nice to sit in the sun and to enjoy that they're enjoying themselves, that they're enjoying to run around and like run free, because it really doesn't happen that often, or it had not happened that often in that time. I'm just going to go into this shade 1 second. This one, which is the lightest green, and I'm just going to use a little bit of that to blend out a little bit more, but like not too much, just a hint of it. Right, so I was there and I saw that there was another woman. There were a lot of other people, but one woman, she was eyeing me. And at some point she got up, because she was sitting somewhere. So at some point she got up and she came towards me. And honestly, I was like, please just go by. Please just go by. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes you just want to enjoy the moment. You want to listen to the birds. You want to close your eyes and like, yeah, enjoy the sun and just be by yourself. Because really, you know, when you have a big family like this, there are not a lot of moments like this, and I kind of really enjoy it to sometimes just be left alone, you know. Now, of course, you know already that sometimes people recognize me from social media, and that is, it happens. It's kind of part of the job description. But sometimes I just feel like, oh, I want to just be left alone, you know. So while I, of course, I enjoy to meet people and stuff, but in that moment I was kind of hoping that it would just pass by, but no. But the woman came up to me and she was like, are you Leorah? And I said, yes, I am. So in any case, wait, let's go in with another brush, and with one of those yellow shades. I want to go in with this one, the super bright yellow, which is called Hard-Hearted. Okay, so let me just find a brush to put this one on. And this one I'm going to, wow, this creased already so much. See this line? Yeah, that's just what happens with me, at least. Okay, so this woman came up to me, and I also, in this case, I have to tell you how the woman looked. Now, usually I'm not making a big deal out of things like this, but in this case, it kind of belongs to the story, and it is significant to the story. So that's why I'm going to tell you. She was a very, very heavy-set woman, very tall, but also, I don't want to say almost as wide as she was tall, but very, very heavy-set. Okay, so she came up to me and I was like, where do I know this woman from? I kind of felt like she knows me, and I felt like I know her too. I just didn't know where to place her. So then she asked me, are you Leorah? And I said yes. Okay, so then I was like, please help me, where do I know you from? And she told me that I had spoken to her 1.5 years ago. Okay, that's a long time ago. 1.5 years ago, she had met me in therapy. And if you don't know, if you've just found me, then I should maybe mention that I'm recovering from an eating disorder and that I still go to therapy. I'm going to therapy for a long time. I want to say something like 4 years or something. Okay, so in any case, let me just go in with my Bone Color Matte also and just blend this out a little bit. And then I want to connect those two parts here with this super bright green. I'm holding the palette the whole time with this one. All right, so she knew me and she remembered me, and I had not seen her. I had just run into her 1.5 years ago in therapy, but after that I did not see her anymore. Okay, so that was basically what had happened, and she recognized me, and then she started to talk to me about the therapy and how it is going. Now, the most amazing thing though was that she told me that she thinks about what I said to her 1.5 years ago every single day. Now, don't ask me what I said to her 1.5 years ago. I'm speaking to a lot of people about eating disorders and about, you know, things like this, related subjects. So I was like, boy, oh boy, that is okay. So she's going to refer to this now, and I have no idea what I said to her. So, but she then, while she was talking to me, she kind of hinted at the things that she remembered me saying to her, and then it all came back to me, and I remembered the situation. And it was so cool, because she said to me, you know what, I have lost, in those 1.5 years, I have lost 17 kilos. Okay, you can Google whatever that is in pounds if you're thinking in pounds. But she said it's a big amount, you know, it's a big amount of weight to lose. And she was like, I have lost 17 kilos, and I have done it because I'm thinking of what you said to me 1.5 years ago, which for me is incredible, you know. So let us go in with this shade and just place this on the lid. This is a shimmer shade. I actually wanted to use those nice duochromes here, but I've used them in every other look that I've done with the palette, and I kind of want to have the yellow and green going on today. So that's what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to place this one right here over the mat and kind of smudge it all together. So then she was just so grateful, and she said, this is so nice that I bump into you today. And she said, you know what, back then I would never have gone out by myself and just sit here on the playground, because she was not there with children. She doesn't have children, and that's also a reason why she wants to lose weight. She's only like 28 years old, and she's married, and she cannot have children because she's just way too big, and you know, it's just not very conducive to conception. So and she just was there because she wanted to go out and she wanted to be part of life. And she said, I would have never done that back then, you know, and I drew so much strength from what you said to me. So what I want to say with all of that is not that I am a miracle worker or that I'm that special. No, but I want to tell you that sometimes we do have an impact and we don't even know. And sometimes it is such a long time impact, you know? I mean, basically this woman thinks about me every single day and draws some kind of strength to me. And apparently I told her that you can do whatever you want. Put your mind to it and take baby steps and don't give up, and you can do whatever you want. Now, I had shown her 1.5 years ago, I had shown her pictures of how I used to look when I was like super big, and because people don't believe it when they see me now, that I actually do have that history and that I do know how they feel, and that I do understand how hard it is, because you know, it's not just like I needed to drop one size. I dropped a lot of sizes, you know. So I do understand how they feel, and I do know all the temptations, and I do know the struggles. I do know. And she said then that I had told her that I started the modeling then, you know, after all my weight loss. And she was like, well, if she can do this, then I can do this too, you know. And I had told her that you can do whatever you want. You just put your mind to it, and you keep battling this, you know, because it is not easy. It doesn't come easy. It is a daily challenge to do this and to keep doing it, because of course also I struggle with things that tempt me and whatever, but it is so worth it. And I told her like all of these things back then. So in any case, that is basically what I wanted to share with you today, because it was just so amazing to find this person, or to run into this person in such an unexpected way, and actually really didn't want to talk to her. I just wanted to be left alone, and then she came into the picture, and it was such a blessing. It was also for me, I mean, she thought that I'm her blessing, but for me in that moment, it gave me so much to know that this short conversation, it was like 10 minutes or something, you know, it was not even within the therapy session or something, it was outside on the hallway, I don't know, in a setting that was very like coincidence, you know, that that she told me that it meant so much to her, and for me that was like, wow, this is how we plant seeds without even knowing it, and it can help people, you know. And I thought it was incredible. So you never know what your actions today or your words today will do in a person from now on, and then how it accumulates and how this little plant grows and what will become out of it, you know, in the good way and also in the bad way, of course, but let's try to go for the good way. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna finish this look, and of course in a second you will see the swatches, which I don't know yet how I'm going to achieve so many swatches on my arm, but I shall try. So that is what you're going to see, and beyond that, of course, the other looks that I have done with the palette, and after that we're going to meet here again for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, sweeties, now you have seen all the looks, you have seen the swatches, and this is of course how the finished look turned out. Okay, now let us zoom you in and let's chat a little bit about that. So basically, to finish off the look, I did put a blue on my waterline, and then I'm going to show you in just a second which shades I used to finish the look. For the inner corner, I'm wearing the Skywalker highlighter from Kaleidos, so that is not part of the palette, and I also added some loose glitters here that are also not part of the palette. I just wanted to because I feel it's so cool to wear glitter. Okay, sweeties. That's how I see myself, very, very cool wearing glitter. Okay, sweeties, this is how the palette looks. It comes in a sleeve that looks exactly like the palette. In the front and in the back, you do have, of course, the ingredients on the back. You do have cardboard packaging, you do have a very, very large mirror, and you do have shade names that are very, very on theme for the palette. Okay, now you do have 36 shades here, and then, of course, those 3 special shades. And, of course, you also saw them in the swatches. I had to break it down into like 2 parts because I could not fit all of this on one arm because it's just a lot, and I wanted to, you know, give justice to the beauty of these shadows and not just make like super tiny swatches. Okay, so I hope you did enjoy this. Of course, you saw that the second part of the swatches were the darker shades here with the addition of these 3, and the first part of the swatches were basically these first 4 rows. Okay, so that is what it is. Okay, so that is the basics about the palette. Now, how did I finish the look? I do, as I told you already, I have a blue on the waterline, then I pressed this super dark blue right underneath and I blended it out with this one, and towards the inner corner I have basically just this blue like right here, and then it hits the Skywalker from Kaleidos. So that is how I finished the look. Okay, sweeties, what do I think about the palette? I have wanted this palette the second I saw it. The second. Seriously, I missed it, or it sold out before I could get my hands on it after the first launch, and I got this on restock, sponsored by one of my besties who is really blessing me big time, and I'm so glad that I have this. It took a long time for me to get this because of the shipping, not because of Playing in Makeup by Yolondo, but because of shipping, and it's just overseas and international shipping is crazy. So it took, I don't know, I want to say 3 to 4 weeks to get to me, but now I have it, and I'm so happy that I have it. This is not my first palette from Playing in Makeup by Yolondo. I do have the Jamrock No Limitations palette, but that of course launched a long time ago. I have that for years already. I also reviewed that one here on my channel, and back then I already liked the matte shades. The shimmers I also liked, but they were very hard to pick up with the brush. Now here I did not have that problem at all. Now I have to say that I do not in general mind that too much if it's not so well or so easy to pick up with the brush, but I do prefer it. So that is what you get here. It is very easy to pick up those shades with the brush, also even these, you know, so that is really cool. Now you do have a super nice range here. You do have one neutral, which is this one. Everything else is basically some kind of a colorful shade, which is beautiful. And beyond that, you do have mattes and shimmers and satiny shades and metallics, and you have a lot going on in this palette. All right, then you do also have here some shades that lean a little bit more into pastel, which are also really, really pigmented considering that it is pastel. It's not my preference. I really like to work more with the darker shades because that is just my personal taste. But beyond that, this is what you have. So you do have nice shades to blend out with. And of course, you can also use them as transition shades if that is your makeup style. If you use transition shades, then of course you can do that. I usually go in with the darkest shade first. So I'm not really in need for transition shades, but it is really, really nice to have them because it adds to a look, definitely. Okay, so that is what it is. Now here, these shades, the pinkish ones and reddish ones, did leave a tiny little bit of a stain, not anything bad. It did come off after just a tiny little bit of work on the same day. Sometimes there is, of course, I have to put on the palette, it's too heavy. So sometimes, of course, with other palettes that I have worked with already, you do have stains that like they take a couple of days to go away. But I personally don't care ever because I always feel the next time I put on eyeshadow, I just cover it up and like, who cares, you know? But I feel like I have to say it. So there was a tiny little bit of staining, but it was not bad at all. Beyond that, I think the pigmentation was absolutely beautiful, and also the blendability and the buildability was really, really nice. So I have absolutely no complaints here. I hope you saw in the swatches of those special shades, those special duochrome shades here, I hope you saw that they shift super, super nicely. And I love that they were included in this palette. You can also nicely layer them on top of other shades and then create nuances of these shades, which is so, so nice. So you really, really do get a lot here in this palette. Did I come across anything that did not work? I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. Now, I did not try every single shade in the palette, but of course I swatched every single shade in the palette. The mattes felt super, super smooth, and also those shimmer shades. I honestly felt the differences in the formulas within the shimmer shades more while I was swatching them. For example, this one that I used today, the yellow, I feel is like a normal OG shimmer, but there are also ones that are a little bit more like metallic. For example, this one I do believe, and I can't remember now exactly which ones they were, but maybe you saw it also in the swatches. So you don't have like a super, super big amount of shimmer shades in the palette, which I personally really, really like because I'm always more for the mattes. I always want to have a bigger amount of mattes in a palette. So this serves me super, super well. So in this area here, this one is a shimmer shade, this one is, and then this one is. Beyond that, everything is matte. And then of course you do have these. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have this palette. I know already from some of you who contacted me on Instagram when I posted the flat lay of this one that you have it or you just got it and you cannot wait to see the looks that I'm doing with it. So I hope you did enjoy the looks, and of course they will also come up on my social media like shortly, okay? I did not experience any creasing or any fading or anything. I also tried the formula on different bases or eyeshadow primers, and I had absolutely no problem with any of them. So for me personally, this was a total win. It was absolutely worth the wait. It was absolutely worth getting this even like on restock. This is a beautiful palette and I cannot wait to try more from this brand because it's really, really cool. A really cool brand. And maybe if you are regularly watching my new makeup releases, and I'm really talking a lot about playing in makeup by Yolondo, you also know that even though I own only personally 2 palettes as of right now when I'm filming this from this brand, I'm always gushing about the releases because this person is coming out with stuff that is just so me, you know? Even the smaller palettes, but also all the bigger ones, everything is just so me. And that is so cool when you find a brand that kind of really puts your soul in a palette, kind of, you know? So that is really, really nice. I should also point out that I have signed up for an affiliate program with Playing in Makeup by Yolondo. As of right now, when I'm filming this, I have not gotten approved yet. So So I don't know if I do have a code, and if you want to save some money, you will find it in the description box. I hope I will have the information by the time this video goes live, and if not, I will add it later. But whichever way, you will find it. If it's there, if I have it, you will find it in the description box. Beyond that, of course, leave me your comments. Check out the description box for all kinds of other information, for everything else that I'm wearing on my face today, for all my links to my social media, for all the other discount codes that I have with different brands, and of course a couple of ways to support my channel in case you wish to do so. And by all means, don't forget to subscribe, because I would love to have you here, and I shall see you here super soon for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.